there's what I call issues in the tissues. And this is kind of my coined verbiage for just something that I've noted. And that is that many times we're blaming the organs that produce the hormones. We're blaming the skin that produces the pimple. We're blaming all the places that we see the problem, and we're not understanding why did that have to happen in the first place. And again, root cause is no new kind of phenomena, but the issues in the tissues really come from an opposite type of perspective. What that means is that instead of saying, hey, your androgens are high, we have to say, well, why are they high? You know, if you have issues where that certain receptor sites where that these particular types of hormones should be docking or completing processes, and either, let's say, because of different types of exposures, vaccines can definitely be a provocation, but different other types of infections or toxins that people are, exposed to that create an immuno type of deviance, this can allow those receptor sites to become deviant as well. They can become upregulated, downregulated. This is going to distort the messaging systems that go and get reported back, to the body. And so it's going to make different decisions based on that. One of the main things that we'll see is that it is very much like a person that, when you're talking to somebody and they're not responding back, what do we do naturally? We raise our voice. We're like, hello, talking to you, right? And so that's kind of what our body will do. So you could do things all day long to block, that DHT or to block those androgens. But more or less, you kind of want to see, why is my body feeling like it has to do this? In my case, that was actually derived from my diabetes at the time. And so what was going on is that my adrenals were kicking out all this adrenaline, all this cortisol, because of the fact that, I had this, sugar matrix that was up and down, up and down. And as that I was doing that, I was also triggering, the adrenals to have to act. The body is very intricately woven together. The stress response is not just the nervous system hanging out with the nervous system, immune system hanging out with the immune system, or the endocrine system hanging out with the endocrine system. They all talk together. One domino falls, the other one's going to follow suit. So, with my diabetes issue, that was provoking the adrenals, and that was causing all these tissues to get so worn out that they became less sensitive. They just became, we're all familiar with insulin resistance, but that can happen in so many other different types of cases with neurotransmitters, thyroid hormone. I mean, it goes on and on. When I burnt out the receptor sites to being able to talk and have that proper relationship, my body went nuts in producing levels and being extra sensitive to this. So no matter what I was going to do, unless that I filled that void, it wasn't going to go away. And sure enough, whenever I did, I cleared my acne for good. Now I could do whatever I want. If I wanted to sleep with makeup for days on end, I'd be fine. I wouldn't break out. I could have dairy. I could do these things, right? I'm free. I'm free from that because I freed myself from the real source of provocation. So you really want to look at tissues, meaning as far as receptor sites and those actual tissues, their immune system and the modulation that they have and the way they're expressing things and why they might be compelled to act that way. It's not just about all these other things that I mentioned. Everybody else in the world knows somebody that they have those things too, and they don't have a face full of acne, right? So why us? Why are we the people suffering with it? We have a different relationship with the way that we're filtering that information, and we have to ask why. And there's differences for every person as to why that might be happening, but the idea is to fix that particular type of tissue so that the tissue itself can have that proper relationship with the environment.